have to make sure that you're learning from someone who actually has capacity, who has accomplished things, so that when they criticize you, you could take it as constructive criticism, not criticism. Why is it constructive criticism? Because they've actually constructed something.
We don't learn this stuff. So everybody gets stuck in a church with a bishop with 15 robes.
Yes, sir.
And 20 people, because we're not living how the kingdom says to transition, succeed, move around in the kingdom.
Wow. Yep. So good. How y'all doing today? Hey, Dr. Martin.
Hey, Dr. Glenn. How are you doing this evening?
Oh man, I'm doing. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's
it.
I'm doing what we're supposed to be doing. While everybody else is doing whatever they're doing.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just a great time. Our timing is good. Your brainchild of this conversation of leading through transition is, as usual, so impeccable in its timing. We didn't know last week when we began that this would still be happening or even unfolding now. But this is still our world, like we said, is in a transition.
Seriously.
Yeah. I saw you out on the street reporting in Omaha, Nebraska. What's going on there?
I'm telling you, this transition, Doc G, is leaving people sort of dazed.
Yeah.
Almost like, antelope on the Serengeti when they hear the roar of the lion.
Yeah.
They're freezing. They're getting stuck in the cycle of the last incidents. And we're having big ones here in Omaha, huge ones actually here in Omaha. And really, we've got to convince people that they've got to lead through these transitions. Positions in spiritual space, leadership space, political space, church space, family space, all those spaces now are being evacuated. They're being abandoned just by people not being able to keep up in transition. So what we're doing here tonight, even during the blackout day, it's really, 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 really important for us to talk to people too, because we want you to wake up, shake yourself out of whatever it is, because now it's time to lead.
Yeah, so good. I mean, and the blackout day is just, if you haven't noticed, it's about solidarity through the Media Mountain music, has shown great solidarity about the performance is over. They're pausing the show. They're saying, hey, we're not going to keep singing, dancing, acting like nothing's going on. We're going to come together to pause for the cause and join together in unity. I was impressed. Even Apple Music put on their browser a statement and said, let's listen to music together. So if you listen to your own playlist, you can listen. But if you don't listen to your playlist, you have to listen with everybody else. And so companies are coming up and coming out. People are shifting. Mindsets are shifting. The world, the earth is groaning, for the sons of God to be revealed. Before we get into it today, I caught some of your message on Sunday, and you were talking about what justice is and what righteousness is. Everybody, I encourage you, if you didn't get that message, to go find it. Go to YouTube, Martin Williams, find the message, get it. It was so good, so powerful. You want to just chime in just a minute on a little bit of that? I think it carries weight in this moment.
And that's why I went downtown to answer your first question. That's why I went downtown in my own city. I'm from a little country town, and I'd never really been in a place where it was like erupting. And in my city was on fire and still is.
Yeah.
But people say, when they say no justice, no peace, they're leaving out the most critical parts of it. Because really, peace is a byproduct of a three-part translation and a network. You have to have righteousness. If you don't have righteousness, that is what is right in the sight of Creator.
Yeah.
What is right in the sight of Creator, and now judgment.
Yeah.
So what's right in the sight of Creator, and how do we judge that?
Yeah.
What's the judgment of what is right?
Yes.
Then you get to justice.
Yeah.
And now, because you have those three, peace happens.
Absolutely.
Peace is a byproduct of righteousness. If all of us are right with Creator, we understand what Creator wants. Right. Now we can put laws in place, which is judgment.
Right.
Not just all people. Justice becomes easy.
Yeah.
Because whatever, if you have if you don't have a righteous view at all, and now you're going to do judgment,
Yeah.
you're going to set up a law that means two different things to two different people.
Yeah.
So when you got this guy who breaks into my house and you got this guy that breaks into my house,
Two
it's different rules.
Yeah.
So this guy that broke into my house gets to go to counseling and do his public service.
That's right.
This one goes to jail for 30 years for the same crime.
That's right.
So you can't have justice out of that, and you for real will not have peace.
You will not have peace.
It's impossible to have peace.
Yeah, and peace is
judgment's off.
Yeah, and I love the definition you use for peace. You know what peace is, to have peace, because peace, think that is it doesn't sometimes involve conflict. You know, but to have peace, sometimes it requires conflict. Yeah.
What you're talking about? Do you want to be a peacekeeper
or
a peacemaker?
Exactly.
And we're called to be peacemakers.
That's right.
So if we're going to make peace, there's going to be conflict.
That's right. And that's what got us in this place. So the world is in transition. The church is in transition. Laws are in transition. People are coming out. We've come to a tipping point, a moment in society where enough is enough and everything is erupting. And so you being a leader with a huge tenure, a great network of sons and people in ministry and business all over the world, so many associations that you created and connected to, how do you keep the agenda, the network, the true focus of the right agenda when the world is in transition? Because people tend to jump on bandwagons. We see people in what I call the mixed multitude that jumped on bandwagons that have different agendas other than judgment and justice and righteousness, and they're getting in and there's mixed messages. How do you keep the people that's aligned, connected to you on the right focus, the true focus, and the right agenda?
I believe there are a lot of agendas that are simply, they are lateral. They're not vertical.
Yes.
So even some some religious agendas, they're just really, they take us this way.
Yeah.
What do we preach? We preach Christ crucified. What is the Bible like? Is it discipleship? Is it fatherhood? Is it whatever? I mean, what should we be teaching?
Right.
Because there's only one vertical view.
One vertical view.
And that's kingdom.
Yeah. On earth.
That's the only thing that's going to take us up levels.
Yeah.
Everything else is just going to keep us here. But so seeing the kingdom, whichever nomenclature, words, however you see it, semantics.
Yes, sir.
That's really the only agenda.
Yeah.
It's the agenda that was first in Genesis. It was the last agenda in Jesus, his kingdom. Yeah. Everything else in between was trying to get us to one or the other, to Genesis 1 or to Jesus. The rest of that stuff is it's horizontal.
Yes, sir.
So the kingdom is vertical, and I had great mentorship and fatherhood that told me that. Yeah. And then that fatherhood led me to, no matter what happens to me, when you die, this is the only thing you do to you till you die. So what choice do I got?
Right.
Let's keep it kingdom. Now that kingdom, how we do it in our generations. This new generation, Doc.
Yeah.
They're telling us something. They're telling us in the streets. We are white, black, green, yellow, but we want this kingdom. We want righteousness. We want right judgment. And we want justice, and so we can have peace. They're telling us, and these folks don't come to church.
Yeah.
So we better keep our agenda for whatever associations we're building, whatever we're doing. We better make sure we're not building our kingdoms. We better make sure we're building his.
That's so good.
It's not about gathering people to us.
That's right.
It's about gathering people to him, so that the kingdom can go vertical.
Yeah. Everybody type, keep it kingdom, keep it kingdom, keep it kingdom. That's the agenda is for us to keep it kingdom. And I just want to jump in because so many people have hijacked that word. So when we're keeping it kingdom, when that is the agenda, I know that's complex, but also in a simple way, what is keeping it kingdom? How do we keep it kingdom? Come on, that's right. Type it, keep it kingdom, keep it kingdom. Just so we're all clear, that's the agenda. We're keeping it kingdom. So how do we keep it kingdom?
So the bottom line is, when we go back to the original plan for this earth, if we were going to read it, if we were going to read or Genesis 1:26, That is the kingdom word. So
Yes,
God said, let us make man in our own image, and in his image and in his likeness, he created them, male and female. Then he gave us then he told us what they would have. They would have dominion. He gave them direction, have dominion, so we want you to create. We want you to multiply what you created, right? We want you to have dominion. And then it gives us a list to have dominion over. Those two verses, that's kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's really it. Anything outside of men and women having their own dominion ain't kingdom. Anything that puts you in domination over humans is not kingdom, because he gave you a list. He gave you right. And there are no humans on that list.
That's right.
Anything outside of that is not kingdom.
Yes, sir.
It's not kingdom. Anything outside of, when you're subjecting people and subjugating and oppressing people,
yes, sir,
it's not kingdom. I don't care if you're the bishop Hucamonga of 3 million churches in the world. If it suppresses another human being and denies them the right to lead their own life in dominion, it is not kingdom.
Church, culture, society, legal systems, it ain't kingdom.
Right.
Right.
And when we say that the church is more important than the law, when we say that the church services is more important than medical systems and all these other systems, it's also not kingdom. So the people who are in the hospital, the people who are picking up the garbage, they get a gift for it and a calling to it. The guy who's singing on the stage, that's vertical. It's all kingdom, and they're going to get the same reward as you and I get.
That's good.
They're fulfilling their assignment.
Yeah.
So spiritual fathers in our world, Doc G, well, you guys got it right. You guys got it right. My generation struggled with this. We struggled with, can I have a spiritual son that's playing professional football?
Yeah.
Can I have a spiritual son that leads a television program?
Yeah.
Can I have a spiritual daughter that's a teacher in her classroom?
Yeah.
Yes, but we only saw, in my generation, we had to fight this. We only saw spiritual sons and daughters of people who were preaching in the pulpit.
Yeah. Well, you guys freed us. You freed us from that burden, because you got the revelation of how that hindered the message and how it ostracized us, and also how it limited our reach in advancing the kingdom. And you freed us to be ourselves, gave us permission to walk in our purpose, and then taught us to do the same. So then we who learned from you then help free people. You broke free of that, although your generation and those before you may have tried to keep you captive. As you said, our lineage brings us freedom all the way down with a mandate. We have no other choice. From Dr. Miles to you, you to me, we have a mandate to be free and to free other people. And anything beyond that is not kingdom. So we keep it kingdom. So now look, the world is in transition. So like, when you're looking at this, what leadership characteristics have you identified that is crucial through working through transition? I mean, what we see right now is just, I've identified it as two things. I said, we're seeing the breakdown of the family. We're seeing the breakdown of the family, God's first original unit, his original idea to be able to establish order in the earth. We see what we're witnessing, the breakdown of the family, and that's the first joint unity. But before he did the unity of the family, he gave us one more important word, which was leadership. Leadership, as you just explained, dominion and leading and having that leader. So now leadership, we're either in a crisis of leadership, the lack of leadership. We're seeing this. What characteristics have you identified to be crucial in leadership when you're working through transition? Yeah.
When you're working through transition, like we're saying, it's transition.
Yeah.
We can't deny that it's transition. We can't deny that it's abnormal. We can't overlook the truth that this is not like every day. This is a transition, whether you call it a pandemic, a global crisis. So the first characteristic this person has to have is vision. They've got to have vision for what the real is. So they need, so maybe we should say it like this. They need the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to lead through transition, you got to have the right idea. If you got the wrong idea, everything else is going to fall.
Everything is wrong. Yeah.
You have to have the original idea of creator, of God. You got the person that put it all together for a reason.
That's right.
You must have that idea in your head. Then you need to have a vision for that.
Yes.
You got to build your vision on that. You can't build your vision on anything else if you're going to lead through this, because you're going to get left out.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you need focus. You need to know this real idea. You need to have your vision set on that. Your eyes, you're got blinders on. That's all you see. And then you got to have this power of focus and tenacity and the strength to only look at this, the strength to only do this, not get distracted. Don't pay attention to the noise.
Come on.
Don't go to meetings you're not set up for. Don't be talking to people. You got to block out every TV program, every book, every commercial that doesn't fit in this. Because if you don't have this, you're going to be in every meeting. I get phone calls all day to come to this meeting over here with that group. We got a meeting with the pastors. We got a reconciliation meeting. We're meeting with the mayor. The governor is coming. We need to go over here and talk to these people. We got folks, we got gang members over here that need help. Businesses are in trouble. So I can't be running all over the place all day.
That's right. Blinders.
I've got to have blinders on my, I got to keep myself focused, because everyone else who's running around.
Yes, sir.
Everyone else who's running around like chickens with their heads cut off, they're going to come out of the pandemic or out of the emergency or out of whatever it is, and they're going to find themselves in the same place they were
in. Woo!
Yes.
Horrible.
So what's the big idea for you? What's the big idea? Is it worth your life? Is it worth your focus? Is it worth your time? Is it worth your money?
Yeah.
If it is, focus on it. While everybody's mad at you because you're not coming to their thing.
Yeah.
You're not trying to do what they're doing. You're not trying to make nobody feel bad. You're not trying to make anybody feel good. You just know you have an assignment in this transition. And you have to take your shots at that and that alone.
Man, how important and priceless is the power of focus in transition, because transition, everything's changing. Yeah. And what you're telling me is that though everything is changing, everything is not changing.
It's not changing at all. Okay. You got me excited. Okay, so
I love it, because that's the illusion of transition. It's like, oh my God, all of a sudden I got to do something different because everything is different.
When I was in Korea leading sports for the Olympics, I worked with some amazing athletes.
Yes, sir.
And one of the most amazing athletes I worked with was a fighter in Taekwondo. Mm-hmm. And what he was showing me, he said we use these little planks, these pieces of wood, and you'll see kids breaking them, you'll see men breaking them, and then you see people breaking bricks and big pieces of wood. And he said to me, we don't look at the wood. Mm. We're not looking at the brick. Mm. When we punch through something, we're looking at the other side of it that never moves.
Yes, sir.
It never moves.
Yeah.
The target, they may move this target around, but on the backside of this target, so I'm not punching the target. I'm punching what's behind it.
Wow.
That way I feel no pain.
Wow.
I feel no anxiety because I'm not focusing on the brick I'm hitting. I know behind it, I get breakthrough. Yeah. And for those of us right now, more money's going to be made, Doc G, in the next 5-6 months.
Yes, sir.
Than almost in the history of our over 100 years. More money is going to be made.
Yeah.
More businesses are going to close that now people are going to buy up.
That's right.
More babies are going to be born in the next 9 months than for a long time because of the pandemic, and everybody had to be in the house where they could focus on.
That's right.
So more stuff is going to happen for people who are focused on it, and this other stuff is just a distraction. Don't pay attention to it at all because it's not real.
Wow. That is so.
I'm sorry to say it, and I'm not getting into, is there really a coronavirus? Well, of course it is.
Yeah.
If you want a coronavirus, you can have it.
Right.
Exactly. If you focus, you can have it.
Right. Whatever you focus on gets bigger.
Right. So don't focus on this stuff. If you don't focus on it, it ain't real.
That's right. Yeah. And the transition is like what's happening does not change the agenda. The agenda is the agenda. What's happening around it is not changing my agenda.
No,
the people who have an agenda in the earth and in the world are following that agenda even through this transition.
Especially
through this transition.
Especially
through this transition. Right.
Especially through this transition, they're like, ooh, let me leave the board of my $1 billion CEO company.
Yeah.
Let me leave the board.
Right at the top of it.
Yeah.
Right at the top of it. Several high-powered CEOs transition off of everything.
I'm going to leave my board, Elon Musk says. I'm going to leave my board.
Yeah.
I'm going to let them talk about stuff and vote on stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go launch a rocket.
While the middle of the riot is, while a riot is breaking out, a rocket is breaking through. Like on the same day, the news had to pause from the riot and shift from the riot
to a guy who's leading through transition.
To a guy who's leading the transition.
We all want to watch him
restore $80 billion of an industry back to United States from outsourcing NASA and other worldly events, and brought it back, said, hey, this is a private owned company. And while y'all rioting, fighting, sitting at home for the last 50 days, we were still preparing for this launch. And the only thing that was going to stop this launch is the weather. And the weather almost prevented the launch, but the weather did not prevent the launch. And the launch took off because of focus.
And by the way, during this transition, I'm going to go from a 800 millionaire
to a
I'm going to go from an 800 billionaire to a trillionaire. As the rocket is going into space.
Amazing.
This is focus, folks.
Focus.
You can't run around everywhere doing everything with everybody and for everybody right now.
My God.
You have to focus.
So good. That's the answer to the question, guys. That was a layered answer, but the main thing is focus. Everybody ought to type it in big letters. Focus. Focus. Don't change your focus. Don't move your focus. Keep your focus. The agenda is the agenda, and the most important thing in the midst of this transition is focus. My God, what an answer. Let's try to get some more out of you. All right, so number 3. All right, so many leaders suffer not having their spouse support direct involvement during these seasons of change, right? So how do you make sure your family is on the same level, on the same agenda, on the same focus when it's impacted different, you know what I mean, in different layers? How do you make sure that through the transition and through the change that everybody's on board in that space, especially your spouse?
Wow, we should bring our wives in on this.
Right.
You know, Erica and Linnell, these ladies are like, we just lucked out.
Yeah.
And we lucked out, blessed out, call it what you like. We have some incredible wives.
Yeah.
So for us, our wives being involved, this question is means little to us. But this is what I'll say. You have to date and court right.
Listen to me.
If you do not do that first thing right, you're in trouble. You've got to date, court, not just for sex, not just for the appearance of the beauty. And my wife is beautiful and very attractive and very sexy. Right. So I really lucked out.
Yeah.
But you gotta date and court on purpose.
Yeah.
So that when you get married, you marry your partner.
Yes.
You marry your friend.
That's right.
And they can be more if you got a big-headed man with a lot of ideas, a lot of dreams, or whatever it is, you got to marry a big wombed woman.
Big womb woman.
She's got to have a big mind.
Yeah.
She can't get overwhelmed. She's got to be able to help carry seeds, not all your seeds, but the ones that are supposed to come to fruit.
That's right.
You got to marry a woman that has a womb in which to carry the seed of a big-headed man.
That's right.
But you got to court right so that you can marry right. And then after that, you better understand this big deal. You married a big wombed woman that can carry a lot.
Yeah.
You got to feed her.
Yeah.
You got to talk to her first.
Yeah.
You got to share your dreams only with her first.
Right. First.
And if you're a woman who's leading through transition,
yes,
you are a Joyce Meyer, or you're a woman that's the CEO of a company, and now you got to marry him right.
Gotta marry him.
Don't marry a guy that also wants to lead.
Yeah,
He's got to fit into what your big head is.
that's right. A secure man.
Yes. They marry for the wrong reasons, marry the wrong person, and end up very frustrated.
That's
and
right.
now they can't give birth to what's in them.
That's right.
They can't even communicate with them. They can't even talk to them about what they're trying to do. So that's just not going to work. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to frustrate them, and you're going to end up ending your life without your dreams being fulfilled.
This is so good.
So people say, can you marry the wrong person? You're not married to the person. You're married to the idea.
Yeah.
You're married to the idea. So you can't divorce them. You can't divorce them because you didn't figure out who they were before you married them.
You didn't choose.
I just need somebody who can help me. I need somebody who can. No, you done married the idea of marriage now. So you can't divorce them because they're the wrong person in the right idea.
Oh, the wrong person in the right idea.
Okay.
Marriage is the right idea. It's just the wrong person.
Right.
Yes.
What God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
That's right.
Now, God didn't join Martin and Linnell or Jermone and Erica.
Right.
He joined marriage. Of people.
That's right. And the two people got to have the right idea. And usually when the marriage is wrong, it's because the ideas are wrong.
Ideas are wrong.
But the marriage of the idea of marriage is always right.
Right. But you didn't marry the right person to fit in that idea with you.
Yeah.
So now you're going to struggle your entire marriage. Wow. And the one that's the lowest in idea will bring the other person down to that idea. The
one that is what?
Lowest
in the idea will bring that person down
to their level.
To their level.
In marriage, you never pull anybody up. Never.
Sir.
The person that's the lowest pulls down.
Down.
I call that marriage gravity.
In marriage, you never pull anybody up because the idea of marriage is to join together, equal. So wherever you come in at, that's where you are.
Right.
So the only thing can happen is either you're going up together or the person with the lowest idea is going to pull the marriage down.
Bingo. Goodbye. You and Erica write the book. That's the way it works.
Whoa.
That if you don't marry
marriage,
if you don't marry at the level that you understand, Linnell, I got a big head. I got a bunch of ideas. I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing. I don't know how this is going to work out. Marriage gravity. I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know. I just know I got a bunch of ideas. What about you? What are your ideas? What do you believe? Well, Martin, I'm called to do this. I'm a super leader. You give me anything, I can give birth to it, but don't give me too much. She told me, don't give me too much. Give me what's important to you. If you give me what's important to you, Martin, I can help you give birth to it. So be okay, Martin. Be okay, Martin, if I don't get involved in everything you do. Because some of the stuff you give me may take me a few years. When my son got married last week, I said, my wife has done a great job with him. People laughed. I didn't laugh at all. She worked 27 years on that boy.
Yeah.
I did too. But my impact on him was a different thing. Her impact on him was supernatural.
Yeah.
So I had to understand that about her. So everything I do, she may not be involved in, but she's involved in the most important things I do. And I share everything with her first.
Absolutely.
But we married like this. So she doesn't pull me down to her level.
You go up.
Since I got married, I have done 100 times more than I would have done if it would. And if I had married another girl, it wouldn't be this.
Yes. Right idea, but it would have been the wrong person.
Yeah.
And people get out of marriage and blame the idea. It's nothing wrong with the idea. It was two people with on the wrong levels that just kept pulling each other down until they dragged each other to the lowest level of their incompetence.
Exactly. And now they're just hanging out. They can never do anything big for God. So now they're not cooperating. They're not pulling together. You just imagine this, and maybe we're getting stuck here, but this is important.
This is very important because you can't lead through transition if you're being poured down to the lowest level of your own competence.
You got a spouse, man or woman.
Yes.
You got a spouse, husband or wife, You're hearing from God in transition.
Yeah.
In transition, you're hearing from God.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else is afraid, and you just came into yourself.
Boom.
You just came, whoa. And now in your strength, you're like, this is what we should do.
Yeah.
We should buy another house.
Yeah, you're clear.
We should move.
Yeah.
We should take another position at another church.
Yeah.
We should. And that other person's like, what?
And all of it goes away.
Because
not because any of it was wrong.
Right.
Ah.
Even if that person who had the right idea, if they did it when they got the idea, it would have worked for them.
My God.
But because they were married to the right idea, but the wrong person in the idea, they're going to miss their windows.
Yes.
Because in transition, things happen
quickly.
Very quickly.
You got to move fast. You don't have time to convince.
Right.
You don't have time to coerce.
No.
You need a partner. You need
a partner that's like, hey, I see that. I feel that. I don't know what to do, but I'll follow you on this. Sometimes it's the wife. It's not the husband.
Intuition.
I think I feel this. I feel like he's got to be able to say, hey, babe, I know you. I know how this works. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't work? Those kind of people don't care if things work. As long as we're still together in transition,
it don't matter.
We're going to try
to make it work
tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to make it work. It's impossible for us to fail because we never drag each other down.
Never.
We're going to figure it out. We don't have to have it figured out. We will figure it out.
We will figure it out together. And that's why we're called together.
That's right.
We're called together and your wife is having a baby and now she's in transition. She's been in labor for 20 hours and transition's going to last between 15 minutes, 10 minutes and an hour. When she gets in transition, she don't want no man running out of the room and throwing up in a garbage can. she might say to you, go over there and take a nap. I'm just in labor.
But you better be here.
When transition happens, you got to be here in my face. You got to be here looking at me. You got to be here holding my hand. You got to be here letting me scream in your ear. You got to be here. You can't be absent for this because transition, you could lose your wife and your baby.
That's right. In that one moment, all the time of labor that it built up to, the pressure, the tipping point, and then transition, if you're not present, you can lose it all in that one.
And that's happening to us right now, Doc G. Wow. That's happening to us right now. Our visions, our callings. We put our families together. I put my family together 32 years ago. How old is your family now? How long? You've been married?
15 years.
So 15 years, 31 years, 50 years for some people out there. Yeah. And in one moment, in 3 months, I could lose it all. If I don't move according to what I'm supposed to be doing with my family now. You could lose all 15, 16 years. I could lose all 32 years if I don't do what I'm supposed to do now. But if I do what I'm supposed to do now with my family, when I come out of the pandemic, when I come out of it all, I would have doubled in money. I would have doubled in authority. I would have doubled in power. I would have doubled in dominion.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Powerful.
So some people, you need to have them write this down. Some people need to write down right now, I'm going to pull my family together.
Come on. Pull your family together.
Yes.
That's how you win in transition. Pull them together.
In transition. Stay close.
Stay close.
Stay close in transition. Run as a pack, swim as a school, fly as a
flock. All of it. Run as a pack, run as a pack, swim as a school, fly as a flock. Did y'all get that? I'm pulling my family together.
We're going to be right here.
We like this. We all, and that's what the pandemic did to us. Yeah. It's that, what you doing? Where are you at? What we doing? What we doing?
On purpose.
On purpose. God say, pull it together.
Right. We got to come out of this pandemic with dreams. We're together. Even if we don't agree about every point, we got to be together.
Yes.
Because those are the families who are going to win.
Yes. Families it has to win. All right. Woo, that was good. Are y'all enjoying this? Man, what a moment. I know you are enjoying it. Come on, we got a few more minutes. We got a few more questions. We're going to jump in. So when you talk about this, that was a lot. Strategies. Let's think of, like, everybody's moving. Everybody's moving, but tools, strategies. The unknown is going to happen. Focus is there. The unknown is going to happen. How do you strategize? How do you deal with the external challenges that you're going to face through these transitions? How do we strategize through this? And my definition for strategy, I always say to strategize or to be strategic is to outthink time. So when you're strategizing, you're outthinking time. So how do we strategize for the unknown when we're facing transition?
It's really important that we focus on the things that never change.
Yeah, right.
If you're building strategy, focus on the things that never change.
Write that down, everybody. Write that down. When you are building strategy, focus on the things that never change, because you can't build a strategy on a moving target. Yes, write that down. When we're building strategy, focus on the things that never change. Okay, I want to make sure they write that down.
Because if you always think about the things that never change, the structure that you build on that thing that never change. If I'm building my structure on the power of a family, the power of investing, whatever I'm getting ready to do in my life, church building, if I build my foundation on something that never changes, even if the wind blows it and it gets knocked half down, I don't have to start over.
I never have to start over.
Right. But if I build my strategy on things, trendy things, trends, whims, I feel something. Somebody told me he's having success in it. I'm going to stay right, but I'm going to stay right here. Even if something shakes it, it never falls and never goes away. My favorite story in this, they asked, why was Henry Ford so successful? And people don't know Henry Ford. This is what made Henry Ford successful. He built his strategies on things that would never change. People need a cheap car that they can drive and have a payment to get it, right? That's how he built his strategy. So he made fast decisions on foundational things.
Come on!
And he changed his mind slowly.
Please, wait. Everybody write that down. Make fast decisions on foundational things, right, and change your mind slowly. You got to write that down. Yeah. Make fast decisions on foundational things and make decisions slowly.
Right.
Did you get that? Pastor, you are killing it tonight. Make it. I need you to write it. You focus on the things that never change and build your foundation. You never focus on trendy things. They got it. And then you make fast decisions on foundation things and change your mind slowly.
Change your mind slowly. Henry Ford said this, I'm going to build a Model T. And they kept saying to him, the Model T is changing. Cars are changing. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. You need to change. You need to do this. You need to put this on the car. You need to put that on the car. He said, I'm not going to change. I'm going to make mine. I made a decision on the foundation that everybody needs a cheap car that they can afford and they want payments. I'm staying with that decision. So they kept criticizing him. Oh, his company's never going to make it because he won't change.
Come on.
His company won't make it because he won't change. His church is not going to make it because he won't change. His money's not going to make it because he won't change. She won't change. She won't change. She's still sticking to this stupid big idea. But everything is shifting around her. She needs to go back to work. Don't leave that job. There was a middle management job. They gave you the buyout. They gave you the option. You better stick with that. No, she is focused on the fundamental thing that never changed is that I am the money. I am the money. The job's not the money.
Wow.
I created the money. They paid me.
Right.
And if they paid me $150,000, the mathematical equivalency is
right.
They pay you 1/3 of what they're making.
What they make it. Exactly.
That's how business works. So when he stuck with that, his company is the only company that was back then that's still making it
right now.
Right. Because he made a quick and fast decision on the foundational principle. And he refused to change quickly with any trends.
Wow.
He says, I'm not changing. They laughed at him, but the Ford Motor Company is the one that's still running. And the rest of them are owned by the Chinese, Japanese, or somebody. Right. And you think you're driving an American car.
And let's not be deceived. We're not talking about innovation because it has evolved. it has evolved. Innovation has taken place, but the value system, the value structure, the parable that comes to mind when you're telling it is the king's parable about don't build your house on the sand because it'll shift, right? And so it's a foundational thing. And so people that vacillate and hard to make a decision, can't make a decision, can't make a choice, waste a lot of time making a decision, it's because they don't know what the foundational things are. So they can't turn, they can't seize moments, they can't seize opportunities when transition is happening because it is based on trendy things instead of foundational things.
Warren Buffett uses the same thing. He uses the same thing. He's got one big idea: invest in what you know and understand or what you want to study. So it don't matter how much money you make in technology. It don't matter how much money you're making on cryptocurrency. He's not going to do it because he's made a decision and he changes his mind very slowly. But when something comes up, he wants to study, wants to understand. He's going to make a decision at 2 a.m. while we're asleep.
Yeah.
He's going to jump on it. Boom. And people like, wow, that's different for him. It ain't different for him. It fits inside his model, the value foundation. So he can make a quick decision and make $1 million before you get up because he knows what his foundational strategy is. He knows what he believes. He knows what he's after. He knows what his vision is. He knows exactly what he's doing. Michael Jordan, baseball players, basketball players, they know their shot. They're not going to wait on you. They're not going to ask the coach. They're not going to look at the bench. They make quick and fast decisions, and you're not going to change their game during the course of the game because you're winning. They're going to stick to that to the last quarter, the last shot.
So true, because you know the foundational things, you know the roles, you know the values, who's the players, who's doing what, who's doing where. You can adjust, you can innovate, you can evolve. Everything's changing. You didn't change, but you're seizing opportunities and innovating along the way. That's how you lead through transition.
People will say,
what in the world?
Yeah. People will say about a great player, they'll say about a great player, oh, we never saw that play before. Because in Michael Jordan's mind, he doesn't have a play.
Right.
He has a foundational belief.
And a focus.
That's it. So if he does this and you let him go by, he's going by. If he does this, you don't let him by, he's going to try something else. But his goal, his foundation is to get past you. That's it.
My goodness.
So it's going to look different every time you're playing with a person like that. And the only way you win in business is you've got to know what someone's big idea is. What's their strategy? Yeah. What's the one thing they've made a quick and fast decision on that they're not going to change?
Yes, sir.
That's the only way to play against them.
Yes, sir. Whew. This is so good tonight. Are y'all kidding me? This is so good. Man, we got more than we bargained for, but that's always the case with you. I love sitting there talking to you. Come on, I'm going to pull and press a little bit more. So when you're in the process of this, innovation is happening, and value systems is being established, how do you manage all of these? How do you manage the tension between old ideas and new ideas, a new leadership for the future and old leadership? How does somebody have the freedom to navigate the new while yet is still trying to hold on to or protect what's foundational, yet is still investigate the future? How do you manage these crossfires of ideas?
Here's the one thing that I learned that will never change from my mentor. One thing that will never change, it will never change, and that's transition. It'll never change. Succession will never change. Technology, new ways to do things will never change. So the way to be nimble, the way to be able to pivot is to not hold anything to yourself personally.
Yes, sir.
I have no past and I have no future.
Oh, stop it. Hold on. Wait. Did you guys hear what he just said? Okay. I will not take anything personal because I have no past and I have no future.
My past belongs to someone else. And my future belongs to someone else.
And everything I'm doing right now is creating.
You just said the word. It's now. That's all I got.
Is now.
Is now.
All I got
is right now. I can't go back and control the past. And I'd be stupid and dumb to try to control the future.
Everybody type it. They doing it already. Now.
I have now.
I have now.
I have now with my son and my daughter.
Now.
Why would I try to control the future they're going to lead through how I see the world now? Why would I do that? Dumb. Why am I so wrapped into my own limiting ego that I want to take credit for what they did then? And now try to take control and dominion from those who come after me? Idiots do that, Doc G.
Come on, sir. Come on.
Idiots do that. Dumb people, ignorant people, insane people try to do that. You got right now. Do your best with now because somebody died for it.
Already.
Do your best with now because there's a sharp little girl waiting right next to you who's going to take that rocket to the moon.
Yeah.
Why would I try to control that? Why would I try to lessen that? Why would I try to take that with me to a proverbial heaven? I have to give away everything I can right now.
Give it away.
That's all I got.
How I live. It's how I breathe. It's how I evolve. It's how I grow. That's why I always tell everybody we're just teaching the series right now. Your next is now. It's like you can't. Now is the greatest seed you have for next. You have to pull the next in the now because you don't have the history. You don't have the future. You got now. You got to pull it into this moment. And everything we doing is creating a moment for the next moment. And when you step out of that moment, that's it. You don't have. I have no past. I have no future. All I have is now. What?
That's all I got.
I have no past. I have no future. All I have is now. Now, faith.
Now stop now.
Now, faith.
No. You got it all wrong, preacher.
No.
The Bible says yesterday faith.
No.
It says tomorrow faith.
No, now faith.
That's all you got.
That's all I got.
You can't use your faith for yesterday.
Now.
And you can't use your faith for tomorrow.
Now. This is our moment.
Right. And if you really got faith in the Creator, you'll take what your ancestors did, you'll do your best with it, and you'll wrap it up and give it to your tomorrow before you die.
Amazing.
You want to give it to him before you die.
You'll say it again. You will do what?
I don't know what I said.
What?
You take what your ancestors did, you bring it into your now, you do your best with it, but you want to do something important.
Wrap it up.
You want to take it. You want to write it down. You want to archive it. You want to give them a flash drive. You want to, the best you can, you want to wrap it up, bow it up as a gift, pretty shiny paper with a bow that's flowing all over it, make it attractive, make it powerful, and you want to give it to them while you're still alive.
Yeah.
So that if anybody messes with them with the gift you gave them, you shoot them. You say, leave them babies alone.
Let them live in they now. Let them figure it out.
Right.
Well, how do we get stuck in tradition? Like, where does that come?
Because we are trying to hold on to what we didn't even create ourselves. The people behind us created it.
You're trying to hold on
to something we didn't even make.
Killing, suffocating the next generation.
Suffocating them. You need to give it to them while they're alive and be around to beat up anybody, get people off their back, tell people to shut up. You need to pay their way. You need to defend them with your lawyers, give them your doctors, defend them with everything you got so that people leave them alone and just let them create.
That's why I rock with you. You're amazing. That's what I'm talking about. And when it comes to success and succession, people die out of it. And then you come in feeling like you gotta be beholding to it as some sense of homage or some weird thing, and people are torn between. We got leaders on here that's torn between, do they take over what's been inherited? Do they start something new because they don't feel like they could start something new in what they were in?
You're driving me nuts, Dr. G.
When they were supposed to be able to inherit what was old and start something new. Instead, they have to either decide, if I'm going to start something new, I can't go into something, I can't inherit something old. This is ridiculous.
You're giving me a headache.
I'm just saying. And it's suffocating them, and it's like loyal. If I stay in it, I want to inherit so I can start something new. But why do I have to start something new and can't inherit? Why do I have to maintain what was in order to birth what is? And where's the peace in that?
Solomon, David said, I'm showing you the temple. This is what I was supposed to build. This is the big idea.
One big idea.
This is the big idea. You're going to do this. Tell you what I'm going to do, Saul. I'm going to get the gold, the wood, the lumber. I'm going to get the leaders. I'm going to get the leader. I'm going to get everything you need. Here is what to build, Solomon. But it ain't my job to tell you how. You're going to have new innovations to build this same building. You're going to have open doors to greater industry to build this temple.
Right.
I'm just giving you the blueprint of what we're supposed to build.
And financing it.
And now I'm going to give it to you before I die.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you who the friends are, who the enemies are. I'm going to show you how to manage it before I die.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to protect it. But before I die, I have to turn it into who you are now.
I have to turn it into who you are now. That's not your fight.
You don't ever let Solomon fight. That ain't his fight.
He just needs to be the king.
You can't give somebody something when you die. Because now he's got to fight all those battles. He's got to fight those stupid rules you got, the the paint on the wall. He's got to fight your elders. He's got to fight all this stuff.
He can't live it now.
That before you die. You've got to turn it into who he or she is before you leave. So that they don't fight those battles, because they won't survive those battles.
Right.
They will leave the thing you wrapped up for them and go start over down the street.
Wait. If I'm planning for a succession, I have to turn it to who they are.
Now.
Before
you leave.
Before I leave it. So they can live in it and lead it.
Yep.
Before I leave it, I got to turn it into who they are now so they can live in it.
Right.
And they can lead it.
Right. They got to be able to lead it like they would lead it while you're alive.
So you can see it.
So you can see it. And so other people can see you see it. Right. And you be like, oh,
it's amazing. They're killing it. It's amazing. I know. And that's heartbreaking. And for my seat, that like we just went global, and I'm looking at them and looking at their face. I'm so proud of them. Their family's intact, healthy, whole industry, business, stuff jumping off. They're amazing. And they're like, why are you breaking this up? I'm not breaking this up. I'm breaking it out. I'm breaking it out so you can live in it, so you can thrive in it, so everybody can see it, so it no longer can be contained. And it's a joy. And it's amazing. And I created it for you to be.
That's the big idea, Doc G. You got the big idea. You have the one thing that never changes.
Big idea.
It never changes. That will never, ever change.
Yeah.
And if you can turn it into who they are now, before you leave,
yeah.
Man, are you kidding? The future, if they can build on what somebody before you built on and build on what you left, and they can turn it into something even greater and build bigger, well, I just know the church is going to suffer when I die. I'm such an iconic leader. I'm such an anointed leader. You are a fool.
You are crazy. It's going to be exponential. If you built it right, if you built it for them to live in it and lead it, it's exponential. and you don't kill it.
That's the only way to live forever.
That's transition. And you, what you built in it, creating space, rooms, and watching it in a healthy space, creating the avenue for everything it needs to become and be determined and decided by its next leader. And you're standing right there doing what you just told us to do.
And you can show them in the next few weeks, if it's church, if it's business, if it's whatever. You can come out of the pandemic or out of what's going on with all the marches and everything. You can come out of this in the next couple of months when you go back to work, go back to church, go back to whatever you're doing, and you can show them the switch. You can walk into the next thing and that person's right next to you. They're carrying some weight, and people come back and say, "Ooh, something changed." Yes, it did. We're moving on. We got more leadership. There's something that's getting ready to shift. I'm going higher. I don't need to stay here. I can do something else. I got sons. I got men who look to me to mentor them, and they're carnivores. They're hunting
Lions.
meat.
Yeah.
I mean, they're eating like meat.
Right.
They're building $5 million, $10, $20, $30 million buildings. They got
Right.
30,000 people in their church.
Right.
They're setting up media companies. I got stuff I can do.
Right.
I'm not jealous of this.
No.
There's something else I can do. And most people, Doc G, they haven't built something else they can do.
That's the problem. That's why they hold on to it, because they have nothing else to do.
Right.
Why don't they realize if you build this, you can build something else? Why not even try and be like, I wonder what would happen if my wife and I, my spouse and I, we built this company, we built this church, we built this organization, we built this, it turned out great. Hey, why don't we just, try to see what else we could build?
Let me ask you something.
Uh-oh.
Did David stop getting paid when he put Solomon in charge?
No! I don't think so. I don't think so.
He didn't.
I think Solomon is an extension of David all day long. Is what is David Solomon's success is David's success perpetually.
And that's the number one reason succession never happens. There's not enough money to pay them both.
So it has nothing to do with strategy.
Has nothing to do with strategy. Has nothing to do with the Lord told me to stay in the pulpit. Has nothing.
Something.
The Lord, I'm going to stay the CEO, even though everything is changing around me. It's most of the time it's all about money, and both of them or all of them can't be sustained. But see, that was David's job. If I don't have enough for the successor and me, then I haven't done my job. I got to save the wood. I got to save the wood. I got to save the gold. I got to save the silver. I got to have the property, and I have to have some cash so that for the rest of my life, I'm blessed and I can move on to something else and I can get out of the way of this next generation.
So your selfishness killed your succession.
Yes. And now you're going to die and everybody's going to fight over your business because you didn't put anybody in charge before you left. They're going to fight over the church. They're going to fight over the family. You got 3, 4, 5 kids.
Pops.
And you've not written in your will and in your trust who's in charge. You don't have a plan for it. They're going to fight over the big Bible that's big enough to choke a mule on the coffee table.
Oh, your succession is killed by your selfishness. When if you would have just been selfless, it was enough.
Enough for everybody.
So what you're telling me is sometimes some leaders run out because they weren't supposed to generate or create what was next. So they ran out because their time was up. And if they would have handed it off, it would have been more. But because they held on to it, trying to say, oh, wait, I got to wait. I got to get it to a certain place. I got to do a certain thing before I give it to you. You don't have the oil, the grace to do that.
Man. Listen to me.
Pops, I'm just saying.
I have a dream to grow our church to 5,000. I have a dream. It's obvious I can't do that. It's obvious that's not for me.
Pops. But you could either hand it over to who it is for, because it is still your dream. It is what you see. It's just not you. You're going to do it through your succession. You're going to do it through your seed, Or you can keep saying one more year. This is our year for 5,000.
The Lord told me.
Next year we gonna hit it. We gonna hit our marker. You're not gonna do it. If you could have done it, you would have already did it. Now you got to do it through somebody.
If I could have done it and finished that dream, if I could have done it, I would have done it.
If I could have done it, I would have done it. That's why it says, and David served his generation.
And then
he died. But he couldn't die until he served his generation. And his generation wasn't served until he had succession.
And then he passed it on. He gave it away.
So just because you see it, don't mean you don't see it. It just doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do it.
The Bible says, and Jesus began to teach the kingdom.
Pops, this is too much.
It didn't say he finished teaching.
Oh my God. He began.
He began to do and to teach.
And to teach.
He began to do it and to teach. So he didn't finish doing. He didn't finish teaching because we're still doing it.
He's living through us.
You will never finish.
You will never finish. You got to find somebody to live through.
Get that out of your mind. You're going to finish something. You're not going to finish nothing. You got a past and you got a future.
You got to live through. All you got is now.
That's all you got. And be happy with now.
Yes, there's so much happening now. Wow.
Be happy with now. Be happy with now. Build your life on rocks, on strategy, stuff that never changes. So you'll have something to give away before you die. If you're working on it till you 85 or 90 and you die, and now you got to figure out who it goes to, they're going to divide the kingdom. And it'll never be what it was supposed to be.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wow. So my last question I got to ask after that, Selah, with everything you said, how do you find who you're supposed to live through?
Woo! I didn't see that question.
It's the weight. Okay, you said a great deal, but who's ready to receive? How do you find Solomon? Where's Solomon?
Because Solomon,
in your case, Solomon, you birthed him like naturally.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's great. He's brilliant. Your wife, you brought him up. You raised him up. He's sober. He's spiritual. He's sharp. He's talented. He's got it. So in your case, you birthed your Solomon. What about the cases when people did not birth their Solomon? How do you find Solomon? Your successor,
and we can pick, and you can help me with this. Let's pick a couple of our examples in scripture. You can have a successor that's born to you. And that's rare, by the way.
It is rare.
It's very rare. So don't look at
it's not always rare. It's not always rare because you didn't birth them. It's rare sometimes because of what you said in the last moments about not knowing how to live through them.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes your natural children will have a different call on their life.
Yeah.
And you want them to have their own personal dominion.
Right.
You don't want to make them, you don't want to live your life through them. Right. You want to let them have their own future.
Own future.
They got to have their own future because you're layered.
Yes, sir.
See, Doc G, you're layered.
Yeah.
You're not just a pastor. I don't want to say you're not just a pastor. You're not only
a pastor.
You're a public speaker.
Yes,
you're
sir.
A business owner.
Yes, sir.
You can go into different worlds. You've worked with government,
yes,
media.
sir.
I mean, so you're layered. So for you and me, for some people like you could have had 12 different children and they do different things in different industries.
Right.
I'm probably a 5 to 7 guy. I could have had 7 or so kids and they could have all been different. My children told me the other day, Dad, you should have had more kids because you got all this stuff that you do that you don't realize you do.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's great, guys. Just live your life. Don't even be worried about it, because all of my sons don't have to come from my womb. So I have to look for people who have certain gifts.
Yes, sir.
The number one gift I want to find in a mentor, a potential takeover person, is that they value me.
Yes.
Me. Me. Not what I do, not what I got.
Yes, sir.
Me, myself, personally.
Yes,
They
sir.
have to value me. They can't love what I do.
Nope. You.
They got to love me.
Solomon has to love you.
He has to love me.
Yes.
Ruth wasn't born of Naomi.
She loved her.
Right? Elijah.
Where you go, I'm going. You can cut me, turn me back, push me back. I'm following you.
I'm gonna burn these.
I have no past. I'm burning it.
They have to be ready to give up their life for me, not what I'm giving them.
Yes. That's what Jesus says at the table before he's leaving.
And some people, Doc G, you answer this for me. Why do people struggle? Why do people struggle with making the folks they're considering for succession? Why do they struggle with this rule? Why won't they make people prove they love them?
Wow.
Is it our society? What is it about? I want to make sure you value me.
Yeah.
Before you show me you value what I have.
Yeah.
Why is that such a struggle?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a kingdom vertical principle. God's like, love me, not my hand. You know, Jesus says, unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you can't even, like, we ain't doing this. You know, so I don't know why. I think loyalty is just a lost art. I don't know why people are afraid to test loyalty and love and require it. I'm not. To show it, to extend it, or to test it. I'm not going to give you my life if you don't value my life. I'm not going to spend my life living through you, working through you, extending, demanding almost. Every level of love and loyalty you express unpacks another level of me to you.
Right. Because if they don't love you, they will not see you when you go.
They won't see you when you go up.
They won't see you.
And then they can't have the mantle.
They can't have the mantle, so the mantle floats to the ground.
So then you wasted all the time with them and you have nowhere to give it to. So because
the prophet waited. I want a double portion. Oh, that's great. Follow me. Stay here. I gotta go somewhere.
I'm going to go over here.
I'm going to Walmart. You ain't going to Walmart without me. So I think he waited until the day the minor prophet said, my father.
Yeah.
My father. I don't care nothing about no mantle.
He did not say the prophet. The prophet, the mantle, the glory. He said, my father, my father.
I think he waited till that day. He waited till he could see it in him.
Yeah. That's real.
If you have that, all the others come. Because number two, if they love you, you got to find somebody who will love what you love.
What you love. That's right. Yeah.
But if they don't love you, how are they going to love what you love?
They won't love what you love. And that's not just the stuff. That's your family, your kids, your wife, your everything. Because if you can't love what I love, I can't build it and give it to you if you don't love what I love, because you won't take care of it. You won't do whatever you need to do with it. Powerful.
If they don't love you, they won't love what you love. So number three, they won't do with it what would please you.
Did y'all get all three?
They won't do it.
Why are people afraid to require that?
I don't know.
Like where you got it from and them being pleased with what you do with it, it matters. It matters. It matters. And everybody wants loyalty, love, and want it to extend whatever it began.
I'm going to give you this ice cream shop. It has 35 recipes that came from the old country. It has 15 patents. It has 300 buildings in which we're selling ice cream. But I gave it to you before I could prove you loved me. So now you're going to take my $800 million ice cream company.
Pops.
You're going to sell it all and start to sell pizza.
Pops.
You're not going to innovate on ice cream.
No.
You're not going to scale it.
No.
You're going to sell it all and now go live on the beach.
Yeah.
I have to require your love for me. I have to require that you love what I love. And I have to require that you're going to do with it something that pleases me.
Exactly.
I can't. I cannot leave you. If I died right now, and I'm a pastor, if I died right now, what would they do with my wife?
Right. If they don't check off those three, they're going to do what unfortunately some people are doing around the country. What they're going to do with my business, they're going to do, unfortunately,
What they want.
what they want. This is no more. And I think based on what you said is because some people give it to their son and not to their Solomon.
Say it again. No. Y'all need to write this down. Say that again.
I said because I think sometimes people gives it to their son and not their Solomon. And just because you have my blood don't mean that you love what I love, that you love me, love what I love, and will do something with it that pleases me. You might be my son, but you're not my Solomon. You're not my
Solomon in this.
in this.
And we need to be able to be honest about that. And that's why we, especially us pastors, we got to create at least 2-3 different worlds.
Right.
So that our children can fit into one of our worlds. You got 3 children, you need to build at least 3 worlds. You need to build, if it's in church, build a church world. Build an investment world. Build a media world. Build a law world. Build a philanthropist world. Build these worlds.
Yes, sir.
So that your children have somewhere to go. They got choices.
Yes, sir.
You can't give your automotive job at the company to your children.
No.
You have to build worlds for them to
live in.
Right. So even though I have 2 children, I have at least 7 worlds. So I'm still looking for 5 more sons.
Right.
But they got to be Solomons.
They got to be Solomons.
They got to be Solomons. I can't be walking around the corner when you with your buddies and you're talking about, yeah, he's just old. He's an old fart. He won't give me nothing. Right. He don't trust me. He don't whatever. No, that ain't a Solomon. A Solomon says, What you say about my pastor?
What'd you say about him? No, not about my pastor. About my father.
Right. What exactly did
my mentor, right, whatever.
What was that?
What?
And before they realize they have been ninja'd. They have been cut by a sharp razor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My father was going to put me on his stage, and I am half the preacher of the guys around him. They got guys that can preach you into a coma. And he said, I want you to teach. I want you to teach. I want you to teach. And I said, Dad, you got people around you. Just let me support you. Just let me give. I'm a giver. I'm a philanthropist. I love to give. We give away 45 to 50% of what we make every year to the house of God.
Right.
So I said, just let me keep supporting you. He says, no, I want you to teach. And I told him, no, I said, I can't. I know I do what I do, but teaching, that's just one of, I do it at home, but you got a big old platform. And he said to me, I need you to teach. And I said, why? He said, I heard what you did. I heard about it.
I heard what you did.
I heard what you did. And
not what you said.
What did I do? He said, you were meeting with the televangelist that came to your church. And he started talking about me.
And you can't say the rest right now. Exactly.
And he said the televangelist told him, I preached for Martin Williams and I was talking about you, and he jumped down my throat.
Yeah.
He jumped down my throat because I said something. He told, I didn't think it was bad, but Martin thought it was bad. He jumped down my throat and he said, if you're going to talk about my father, don't even get on the pulpit. I don't want to give you the mic. Here's your money. But no one's coming to preach this church if they don't love my father. You can't talk about him in front of me in his absence. That ain't what's getting ready to happen.
That ain't what we're doing.
Right. I got a father. I don't need you as a father.
Exactly.
You didn't come here to pick up another Negro son. Yeah. I got a dad.
I'm secure.
Right.
Exactly.
And Dr. Monroe said, I need that spirit. I don't care what you say. Even if you're a horrible preacher, I need that spirit on this stage.
That's right. Because I know you love me.
I love you. I don't care nothing about this stage. I don't care nothing about these people. I don't care nothing about them. But if they mess with you, they got to deal with me.
Did anybody write down the 3 loves that qualified, that helps you find Solomon? I need somebody to write them down.
And Dad, let me tell you something right now. If they mess with your wife.
Yeah, I know that's right.
If they mess with your two kids.
Yeah, I know that.
If they mess with your 2 kids.
That's right.
They are my enemy.
Period. Unapologetically. Because they don't love. So this foolishness, and we got to go, but I'm just trying to get to it. But this foolishness about your enemies ain't my enemies, and just because you got a problem with them don't mean I got a problem with it. You mean that's not true?
You will never succeed anybody great if that's the way you think.
There are so many people that think like that. That's not my beef. That's your beef. That don't have nothing to do with me. That's like, that's between them, and I could still,
I'm not going to give you what I love.
3 things. I'm looking for them. I'm looking to see if anybody got them. The 3 things.
We ought to be quiet, man. We've been on this thing an hour and 20 minutes.
Every time we get ready to go, they keep on pulling. We about to go.
I'm glad I don't see all that. You're the only one that sees that. That
was rich. The numbers have not gone down at all. They dipped for a second at the hour point, and then they came back up.
No, I need to know something from you. If I got a problem, we got a problem.
That's
right.
My kids right there, right?
I want to ask you something, Pete. And I want to ask you in front of your brothers.
Right.
Do you love me?
Right.
More than
these. That's Jesus' part. That's why he started with Peter. I can't give it. I've been rocking with all 12 of y'all, but only Pete. Do you love him? Do you love me more than these? Yep. All right, good. Feed my sheep.
Here you go, Pete. Here you go, Pete. The dumbest, the cussingest one, the one without a degree, the fisherman, the rough around the edges. Here's the church. Why? Because he loved Jesus. So if Jesus died for the church, Peter said, I'm going to die for the church too, but you can't make me die like him.
Flip me up.
Turn me upside down, but I'm going to die for the church too.
Because I love him.
I love him. I love the church because he loved the church, and I'm going to do what's right by the church. Leave your money, sugar.
Sorry.
Leave your trust, leave your will to the child that loves you. Forget the child you love.
The child that loves you will make sure that the child that you love has something. The child that you love will not take care of the child that loves you.
Nope. They'll take that and do what they want.
Give it to the one that loves you, love what you do, and then do what
and they'll take care of the brother that hates them.
Because of you. They'll say, oh, dad will want this, mom will want this, so I'm going to do it. I can't stand you. You're going to waste it. You're going to be back here, but here's your stuff because it ain't mine, it's dad's. But if you give it to the one that you always baby, the one that you love the most, if they don't love you and love what you do, they won't love what you love. They'll take it for themselves. All right, we have to stop. It's too much. Listen, I want everybody tonight that's been blessed. Forget my name is even over there for a Cash App. I'm saying I want you to sow to Dr. Martin Williams. I'm serious. He ain't asking for it, and he definitely don't need it, but you need it. I need it. We need to. The level of wisdom mastery that came out of this moment was more than we bargained for, more than we asked for. This touched every aspect and every area of your life. Go on this website, buy all of his books. Go to Dr. Martin Williams on his YouTube and make sure that you subscribe. This is going to disappear from Facebook. You hear what I'm saying? The only place it's going to be is on his YouTube, on my YouTube. Listen, follow him on everything. This is how we talk. We just turned it on and he just talked like this. Like I told you last week, when I'm around my pastor, my baby jumps, my baby leaps, my brain explodes. I get stirred up. Tonight, it's evident by those of you that have been taking notes, locked in, logged on 4 different platforms, that this has blessed you too. I want you to do what is good for you. This is an opportunity to Cash App, Dr. Martin Williams. Go on the website, check him out. It's there. I want you to do it. It's right there on the screen. All right. Forget about me. Don't do it. What if you're going to give something to me? Give it to him. I'm serious. I mean that in this moment. It's so weighted. If you sow into this moment, it will grow exponentially in your life. I know you were blessed. This is more than some people have gotten going to a conference, getting on a plane, a hotel, spending a whole lot of money, and you set up in a room and didn't walk away with what this man just poured out of his life in just an hour. And it was selfless and it was clear. And it teaches us to lead through transition. Your life is your life. God gave it to you. All you got is now. And you got to lead through transition. Don't become a victim of it. Take these principles, go listen to it again, write it down in big, bold letters, and so many nuggets. All right. I want you to make sure I mean it. Feel the passion in my heart. Again, this is a moment for you. This is an opportunity for you. I want to create for you an opportunity. And the opportunity is to take something and sow it into this moment, something that you heard. Get some receipts on this. Get some receipts on this moment so that you can use it later in your future. My God Almighty. Pops, thanks.
My pleasure. But people were listening to a conversation that I hope they understand this. They were listening to a conversation between someone like me, who knows my job is to serve people bigger than me. I know that. I take joy in it. But they need to understand that I was talking to them through my conversation with you. That's all I'm saying. Because of your potential that you're realizing every day to do things 10 to 100 times more than I would. The where God's leading you, the doors he's opening for you. I have to give you everything I have.
Man.
Just because I'm selfish. I want to live forever.
Yes, sir.
I want to live forever. So I have to find people who can do what I can't.
Yes, sir.
We're going to go further than I will. We're going to go higher. Their footprint in the sand's going to be bigger.
Yes, sir.
Their roar is going to scare more antelope than mine. That's what we got to do. We got to find people with more than what we have.
Yeah.
And not be jealous, but give them everything we got.
Yes, sir.
Everything we got. So people need to give to you.
Yes, sir.
because you're in a now. You're in a very high prosperous place. You're in a trajectory. You're a rocket headed to space. That's what you are right now. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
And people need to know you. They need to subscribe. They need to write you. They need to get into your mentorship program. They need to pay you that $2,000-$3,000 a month to learn what they can learn. That's what they need to do, because as they hook up with you as you're flying, they fly too.
Yes, sir.
So anyway.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for logging and locking in and for joining. I'm floored. I'm thanking you for hanging out to the end and not giving out and giving in. The most important part of the moment is the closure of the benediction. Receive the blessing. Pastor, Pops, please bless the people. Receive the blessing so you can use this. You didn't leave, you didn't jet out. Get this blessing on your life. There's a blessing coming. Receive it now. Come on. Go ahead, Pops.
Father, I just believe that we were born for adversity. We were born for pandemics. We were born for trouble in the earth. This is how the kingdom goes. My father said, you will never grow in good times. So I thank you for the bad times that we're in. I thank you in them. I don't thank you for them. I thank you in them. I give thanks in these times. And I say that those under the sound of our voice are going to take the opportunity to strategize built on foundations.
Yes, God.
They're going to make quick and fast decisions about those.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep those decisions until they no longer serve them. They're going to pass on to the next generation, knowing that that's how they get credit in the end, by how much they gave away, how much they got and kept, modified and made better and passed it on. I thank you that we come out of this super strong, uplifted, in a bigger position than we were when we went into it. I thank you that there is really no enemy to us. There are enemies and devils to other people, but we don't really have enemies and devils, because in the light of God, there is no darkness.
Yes,
we focus on that one idea. It's one idea. It's clear to us. Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. I'm not running from any devils. I'm not entertaining any devils. I'm not praying about any devils. I'm not even going to have to cast any devils out.
Yes, God.
My stove is so hot that they will not land on it.
Yes, God.
In the name of Jesus. I am focused on where I'm going. I believe in it. Me and my family, my spouse, we're going to pull ourselves together.
Yes, God.
We're going to act together. We're going to fly as a flock. We're going to swim as a
yes. Amazing.
We're going to operate at such a high level that in the day by day we increase in Jesus' name.
Jesus.
Amen.
Oh my God. So good. So good. So good.